Hello everyone, I'm back with the tutorial of a trick that I performed a very long time ago, and that's called The Theory Made True. Now you have to watch the performance before you watch the tutorial, so you can do so by either clicking on the cards in my hand or the box. Okay, now that you're back from hopefully watching the performance of this trick, let's get right into it. So, as I probably mentioned in the performance, this is an impromptu card trick, which means that the cards do not require any setup, so you can use any cards you like, the spectator's deck if you want, it doesn't matter, and they could be shuffled. Okay, now it's also a free selection. You want to ask them to pick a card, start off by doing so, and for example they pick the Queen of Spades. Okay, now here's the first sleight, and this is the reason why I like this card trick. It has many sleights, but it's fun at the same time, and it really has an effect on the audience. Okay, so next you're going to put the card back and control it to the bottom of the deck, and here's how you do so. First, just spread through the cards and tell the spectator that you're just going to put their selection in the middle of the deck. So just spread through the cards and then break the cards. So you have one pack in your right hand where all the cards are spreaded, and one pack in your left hand where the cards are still together. So you can just cross their card, just pick up the card and flip it over in the pile in your left hand using this pile. So just say, okay, I'm just going to put your queen, your selection, into the middle of the deck. Okay, now here's the special move. What you want to do is you want to hide this card, and the way you do so is with the packet in your right hand, you want to position it. You want to place this packet on top of their selection, and you want to position it so that as you close it in, you stop when their card is hidden. When the last card in that pile is directly on top of their selection, so they cannot see it anymore. So again, you just take the pack in your hand, flip their card over, and just place it on top of their card, so their card is hidden. And then you can just continue to spread through a bit, but now in your right hand you should have it so that the last card is actually comprised of two cards, but they don't know that. And you're holding the cards, you're holding their selection with these three fingers, your middle finger, ring, and your pinky. And once again it's hidden. Okay, then you can just spread through the cards, the remaining of the cards, with your thumb. Next, what you want to do is pretend like you're going to gather up the cards. And what you're actually doing is, with your thumb, you're just placing your thumb on top of this card. This is actually the random card that's blocking their selection. So you just place it on their selection. And then, so this is so that the card stays in place. And then, now, with these fingers at the back, your pinky, middle finger, and your ring finger, you just want to pull on their selection. Now, they won't be able to see that because before, this random card was directly on top of their selection. So they won't see it. And your thumb is currently pressing on that random card. So nothing is moving except for their selection, which you're pulling back. Now, pull back their selection until it's free of all those other cards, and you can just hold it just like that. But make sure you hold it so that they don't see that it's actually separated from the rest of the pack. Then you just very fluidly just gather up the cards, and as you do so, just put their card on the bottom of the deck. Now, this is quite advanced, and you may not be able to do it quite fluidly, so just rewind. Feel free to rewind the video at any point of time to be clear. Okay, now that their card is on the bottom of the deck, you're just going to say, okay, I just put your card in the middle of the deck, and that's what it seemed like to them. So then you can just spread through the cards until you reach the bottom, and just pick up any card from there, just out-jog it, and say, and now I can make your card appear in the bottommost part of the deck. Now they think that's impossible because you just put it in the middle of the deck. Now what you're going to do here, this is the second sleight, and what you want to do is actually just hold the cards in a middle grip, except your index finger is just on the bottom of the deck, on top of their selection, or below I should say. And then what you want to do is just secretly just slide up their card with your index finger a bit, just a bit. Okay, so now you want to make sure that the spectator cannot see that you're actually sliding up their selection. So just slide it very discreetly, and not too much, maybe just by half a centimeter or something. Okay, just slide it up a bit, and as you reach over to pull that random card, you're actually also you're just putting your thumb on that random card and using the rest of your fingers to also grab the card at the bottom, which you just outjogged a bit. So you're grabbing both of those cards, and it seems like you're just pulling out one card, but you're actually going to pull both of those cards out. And as you're pulling it, you just try to square up the cards while you're pulling it. So it's square like that, and just hold it tightly so that it doesn't seem like there are two cards in your hand. And you can just turn it over like that, and it seems like that random card is their selection. And this may take a while to master, but it's very effective. And then you hold a break over those two cards, and then what you're going to do is just say, oh, and your selection has appeared in the bottommost part of the deck. And then you're just going to turn over those two cards as one. So basically do double lift. And now their selection is in the second position, but they think it's on the top, and a random card is on the top. Next, what you're going to do is just take that card from the top of the deck and just put it randomly into the middle of the deck. Now they think you're putting their selection to the middle of the deck, just square it up. And then you can snap your fingers again and show that in fact their selection is on the top of this deck. Next, you can just put it back on top, and then get a one card break. But what I like to do is I just show their card, and then as I turn it over, I just get that break. What you could also do is just riffle one card and transfer that to a pinky break. Okay, now that you've got a break, just transfer that to a thumb break, like this, and then just do a Bowery reversal. Now there might be a link on the screen to a Bowery reversal. Okay, so you just take half of the pack from the bottom of the deck, turn it over on top of that card, on top of their selection, while still maintaining the break, and then take another half of the cards, the rest of the cards, and put it on top of that, and also turn it over. So now all the cards are turned over except for one card at the bottom of the deck, which is face down, which is facing the other way. Okay, next you just say to the spectator that you're just going to pick 3 cards of your choice, and they could also pick 3 cards, but for time's sake I just took 3 cards which are positioned right next to each other. Okay, so as you put those 3 cards on the table, and just point to them maybe and tell the spectator what cards you've chosen, you just want to get a 1 card thumb break separating their selection from the rest of the pack. Okay, next what you want to do is just 3 cards are over here, and as you're gathering them, it seems like you're using the deck of cards to just support and just seem like you're just going to grab these 3 cards. But what you're doing is you've actually got that 1 card break, and you want to try to slide it under the top card. So as you can see, the cards are on top of each other, and you just want to try and have that card slid right under the top card as you gather up the cards, and then you just gather up the cards like so and steal those cards. So what you just did is you just stole their selection and put it in the second position from here. Okay, and then you just say, I'm just going to turn over these 3 cards, and just turn over them at once. And here comes another slide, and this is a slide that I really like to perform. Okay, so what you want to do is just pretend like you're just putting these 3 cards on top of each other, but what you're doing is this. First, take all the cards, separate 1 card from these cards, like so, and drag these up. Okay, then, so now over here, you have 3 cards, but they think it's 2. And then you just take this top card and just slide it up. So it seems like you just have 3 face-down cards, but in reality, you have 1 face-down card, and then their selection, which is hidden under that card, and then that card, the face-down card. So from the back it looks like this. And then, since you have this card hiding their selection, you just want to grab a break, meaning just use your index finger to separate their selection, back like so, and this may be hard to do, but practice makes perfect. And then you just want to do this discreetly so they cannot see that you're doing that, and just practice that. And it might be hard to get, in which case you might have to scrap those 2 cards in the middle and try again. Okay, now I've got that separation, and now it's very simple. All you have to do is just use your index finger to just push down that card until you hit the card on the bottom. Now what this does is, it just, from their view, the card has magically appeared, and you don't want them to see that you slid the card from here to there, because then they might just suspect that the card was under there. So what I like to do is, once I've got that break, I just like to take the cards and rub it over, but as I'm doing so, I just slide the card like so. What you could also do is just put your hand on top of the cards and just slide it. Okay, then now you've got 2 cards, but they think that you've only got 1 card. So you're just going to grab those 2 cards as one and turn over these other cards and just put this double on top of those cards. So now you've got the same thing, 3 face-up cards and a face-down in the second position, except now it's a random card and their selection is over here. Once again, turn over the cards and you can make up your own story. Say that if I want the random card to appear in place of their selection, then all I have to do is put the cards in the same position, and that position is taking 1 card, putting it on the bottom, and 1 card on the top, and the 2 cards in the middle. Okay, once again, get that separation, and maybe you could use your hand this time and say Avocadabra or something, and that random card has appeared. Again, grab the double, turn over these 2, and put it on top. And now it's the same thing. You've got 3 random cards and their selection face down in the second position. Now what I do is I just put these cards in, I just add them to the deck and just cut the deck. Now notice that when I did that, their card was face up. So now their card is the only face up card in the whole entire deck. And then I just give the cards a cut so that their face up selection is now in the middle of a face down deck. And that's a theory made true. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.